Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing good. So today we're going to do some PSU on Clementine. Hi Scorpio, good to see you. So apparently the summer event has started on Clementine. I think it started possibly yesterday. Hey Pika. Yeah, so we're just going to check out the summer event and see what it's all about. It's actually feeling a really good week because it's only Rare Monster week on Affinia anywhere, so feels like a good week to do some PSU instead. Hi Sam Nightfall, good to see you. Had your audio too loud? Okay, I was wondering why you were startled. Because on my audio should be as normal. I will say that I've done that before though, Pika. It's usually after I've like cleaned my desk or something. I've got like it's like a volume dial separate to my my speakers and everything that I can adjust separately. And the amount of times I've accidentally knocked it while I've been cleaning and then turned my PC on and it's been the loudest thing you've ever heard. I was just watching your videos to learn stuff about PSO. Oh, cool. Have you played PSO before, Sam, or is it your first time? Okay, so this is PSU, so this was like the game after PSO. Rare enemy week where there's only one rare enemy to hunt. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the advantage of the rare monster week on Affinia is the RBR, I believe, doesn't boost the rare enemy rate. I know when I ran one of the RBR quests, it didn't seem to boost the rate anymore. So you can still run for them, it's just that obviously having the extra rare drop boost helps. Yeah, that's the problem, I guess, when, you know, in PSO, when you've only got a couple of areas in the game that have rare enemies to begin with. So I believe, I'm assuming there's like an event lobby. Yes, there is. Go to event. I'm going to guess it's Paracabana Coast. That seems logical for summer. It is. There's a fun surprise for the Raging Waves event mission. Okay. So for some reason that music seems way louder than everything else. Wait, why is there just a random Lunga? What are you doing? Are you okay? I can't interact with him. He's just here vibing, I guess. You play on a server 1 and 2 plus GameCube. Played last year, but want to play again. Still very newbie. Cool. Alright, let's get Zill invited. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. There is, for some reason, a Lunga in the middle of the lobby. There's also a Rappy on fire. I've just realised that. Which coincidentally is how I feel at the minute. There is a heatwave in the UK starting. And I feel like this Rappy at the minute. Don't worry about me. This is just my extra units visual effect. I hope it is. Yeah, this is fine. Need to update the game first and we'll join in a bit. No worries. Also, I think I saw that. Does it work? It does. Middle of All Brothers mission counter. Yeah, so if you say Happy Birthday Sonic with an exclamation mark, it'll turn you randomly into one of the characters. I mean, for me, Tails has always been my favourite character anyway, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, reason being, if you don't know, it's Sonic the Hedgehog's 35th birthday on the 23rd of June. Which is terrifying. Crucially, he can still dance. So the race LTQs and NGS, so what they've done, Drac, is it's more or less the same maps as the previous ones, different enemies again. The Sonic one this year on NGS is actually really annoying because what they've done is a lot of the bosses in it are incredibly tanky. So it's really weird because you've got a quest that's obviously all about speed. You're flying through the quest, you get to a boss, and then you just come to a stop, and you're just kind of stuck fighting the boss for a while, and then you do a bit more running. It just doesn't flow that well, I don't think. It's still fun running through a quest with Sonic music and everything, but I think this year it's not as good as it has been. I mean, there's loads of Sonic 35th anniversary stuff on NGS at the minute, so... Which is funny, because, you know, PSO didn't really get much. Not that I'm bitter about it. He got the brain rot. Honestly, when I see this now, all I can think of is those like Sonic brain rot videos on YouTube. And these Tails like singing in Chinese or something to the full effect. We know who the favourite child is, and it's Persona. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, seeing all these Persona announcements is just like... I'm happy for the Persona fans, but at the same time, screw you. So is there anything else here? So, obviously that's the quest counter. Okay, so here's the gas counter, which I will need to do at some point. Where's the third vault? Oh, there. You kind of, I was going to say blended in. I don't know how he blends in when he's the big one. It's not that I don't like Persona. It's, I mean, full disclosure, I haven't played a Persona game. The issue is that it feels like Persona's being pushed at the expense of Phantasy Star. So... They appear in my Instagram videos of Tails dancing and mostly brain rot, yeah. This game is still live thanks to private servers, Blue Bob. So there is a server, the server is called Clementine for this, where you can download the game and you can play again. And at the moment there are 78 people playing at the minute. Which honestly is probably a bit quiet for an event. It's probably because of the time. A bit later on, it'll probably pick up even more. But it's the same for most of the online Phantasy Star games. Most of them are supported by private servers to some degree. So yeah, if you used to play a PSU and you want to play it again, you can still do it. Okay, so that is upgrade counters, fair enough. Sadly, the games that resonate the most with people get forgotten. Still waiting for more Shining Force or a new Shining in the Darkness. Yeah, I mean, I've only played I've played a bit of the first two Shining Force games. I'm not massively familiar with the series, but... Yeah, I guess as Phantasy Star fans, at least we have, like, you know, PSO2 and stuff, but... Hopefully with Sega looking back at their back catalogue again, maybe we'll get some more. Yeah, I never got around to playing all the way through the original Shining Force games, but from what I played, they were fun. The event started at 10 PM EST, so people are probably still sleeping. It's fair. So let me see the quest counter anywhere. Wait, camera options, what? Enable side scroll camera. What? Side scrolling in PSU? Let's just leave it as is for now. And I'll see what the mission is first, and then we can maybe play with that. Okay, so there are effectively 2 quests. One of them is a duo one though, so there's like 2 versions of Crimson Blitz. It's Wild Times, man. Capcom actually remembered Dragon's Dogma 2 exists to give it a DLC. Yeah, I was really surprised that Dragon's Dogma 2 got something else. I kind of figured that... I mean, I don't know how well Dragon's Dogma 2 sold. I just know it had a lot of performance issues when it launched. I didn't really think they'd do anything else for it. Waves is the event and Blitz is the challenge, okay. Yeah, I guess there is some side-scrolling in Infinity, isn't there? Yeah. Alright, so it really doesn't tell us anything, it just says VR training space, clear all enemies, so what's the other one? Work with the guidance to clear multiplayer venues before time expires, fair enough. Right, let's check to see if anyone else is here. TMG still a thing, as in twin machine guns. So in PSU, nearest thing is probably twin handguns, which are not rapid fire like the TMGs in later games, but assuming you mean twin machine guns anyway. It still has performance issues, but in August they're putting out a major performance patch. Oh, cool. Hopefully they can solve some of the problems with it, because I mean they managed to do it for Monster Hunter Wilds for the most part, so... which is also getting an expansion. Dragon's Dogma 2 has sold around 4 million. Honestly, I don't think that's bad. I think it's fair to say Dragon's Dogma is a more niche franchise than some of the other Capcom franchises. So I think 4 million sales is pretty good. Yeah, let me just have a quick look around and see if there's anything else. Oh, there is a rubber duck. A rubber rabbit, I guess. Look at him go. Yeah, I think the nearest things are probably the twin handguns. Do I have any twin handguns on this class? I think I'm playing Forte Fighter, aren't I? So no, I only have single handguns on this class, but... yeah, nearest thing is probably twin handguns. Hi, 8-Bit, good to see you. Yeah, we'll get started in a second. But again, yeah, if you want to transform into a Sonic character, just type in Happy Birthday Sonic with an exclamation mark and that should do it. It randomly picks the character though. Apparently someone is not very happy they've got Sonic. Don't think there's anything else here. There is a hidden dressing room here, by the way, if you don't know. If you stand in these bushes, you can change clothes. So I don't know why this guy's here. You can't interact with it or anything. Oh, Drax here. Alright, let's see. So I guess we'll just run the normal quest and see what that is first. I'm curious to see about this side-scrolling, so I want to do it without adjusting it and see if there's any side-scrolling. And if there isn't, I'll enable it for the next one. So, I mean, we're obviously going to do Ultimate. Right, so let's see what this summer event involves. It's my favourite lobby. I've sat on most of the cliffs here at some point. Only possible if you're a moderator, though, and can edit your physical position. Oh, so this would be the side-scrolling then. Okay. It is kind of interesting that they've made it into a side-scroller, which makes it even better that I'm Tails. I feel more at home now. Okay, so it seems to be ground element enemies. It's super throwing me off, though, I will say, playing PSU from this like side-scrolling perspective. Seeing Tails' weapons is somewhat surreal. He shows violence. It is very funny. Yeah, they normally do this every year for Sonic's birthday. I can't remember how long you can do it for. Maybe some point in July you can do it until. It doesn't do anything else, it's just an aesthetic thing as well. I don't know which characters you can get. I'm going to assume it's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. I don't know if there's any others. Honestly, really good timing on this event. I guess the one thing about Affinia is that there isn't really... I guess this time of year on Affinia for PSOBB is kind of a bit of a down period because there isn't really an event going. So I guess it's good that there is one on Clementine because it kind of fills it in. I wonder if the whole thing is side-scrolling. It's a calm after the storm. Or the calm before the storm as well, because August will be the anniversary on it, so... On Affinia, anyway. I mean, technically, August is also PSU's 20th anniversary. Which again makes me feel incredibly old. Missy wanted to play the version of PSU, but at the minute I'm on Affinia. Failed to get Centurion ability doing Black Paper's Dangerous DL2. Other way of getting Centurion ability, which you probably know, is Conjure in Ultimate for a few section IDs. Obviously that relies on you getting Conjure, but it is Rare Monster Week, so you have a better chance of seeing it. Yeah, it's the downside about those quests, really, that it's really random what you get at the end, so it can be annoying sometimes. I suppose, yeah, it's good that we have this event because I guess this gives us like a fun distraction to do while waiting for August. Because then obviously August is just going to be a lot of PSO. So we got the swimsuit Jaguars. Which are not at all chow. Wait, is that not a box? No? Okay. It looks like a box, but it's not. They're fake boxes. Your character Skyly. So yeah, Skyly in Ultimate will definitely get Centurion ability from Conjure. I think it's a 1 in 4 drop rate. Hi Nimble Soul Thief, good to see you. We're just checking out the new PSU Clementine Summer event, which is this weird side-scrolling one. Is someone rocking Akimbo Heaven Strikers? I believe so. You can do that in this game. Or rather, you can on Clementine. I'm pretty sure Heaven Striker wasn't in like Sega PSU. I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, they appear to also have a double cannon as well. We're all using like PSO stuff really. So I'm using Yasha with Hang-On Gold. Yeah, I like this so far. It's nice to have something a bit different. I think sometimes the events on these games can feel a little bit repetitive. Well, this at least has the whole camera gimmick. Well, I got a Jago decoration. Yeah, I think what we'll do today is we'll run some of this, and then if we get to a point near the end of the stream where we're getting a bit tired of running the same quest, we could do some tower or something. Oh, Trident Crusher U+, nice. Okay, using God Hand on Tails is really funny, because it doesn't show up as a weapon, it just looks like Tails is just beating things up. Or getting beaten up, as the case may be. Can't use your blast. Yeah, I also noticed that, Drac. I went to use a nano blast earlier and it just didn't do anything. So I wonder if blasts are disabled in this. Which is a weird decision, but... So have I been on Affinity this week? I have. I played a bit earlier, actually. I did the episode 1 RBR quest, just to see what it was like for slimes. Turns out it's the one in caves with the random spawns, so it's really hit or miss whether you get them. And then I ran some max attack EP1 on my red rear to try and get red slime. I managed to finally get a red slime to show up again, but didn't drop anything I wanted. To be fair, I also got a Mill Lily show up in the same run, which didn't drop its 1 out of 2 drop as well, so it's one of those days. like the camera. It makes it feel like an old school beat 'em up. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Maybe that's kind of what they're going for. It just needs a big flashing arrow that says go every time you beat a spawn. Oh, that is the surprise, no blasts. I'm not sure it's a welcome surprise. Oh, wait, what? So if you disable the side-scrolling, you can use your blasts again? So what you're saying is we're playing on hard mode? I wonder what the reason for that is. Yeah, these guys really hurt. I think it's the traps, actually. I'd like to play PSU, but I play with emulator on my phone, and I think there's still no good way to play PSU like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what the situation is for playing PSU on things like phones. I suppose it'd be a question of like getting the launcher and everything to work properly. I've always just played it on PC, so I can't really help with that, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, so now it's normal camera view, and now we can... They just evaporated immediately. I didn't even get to do anything. Why were they the easiest thing in the entire quest? What are the white and yellow buffs? So PSU was kind of weird. It had 4 different buffs, and kind of had 4 debuffs or 3 debuffs. So obviously red and blue, you probably know that is shift and D-band. That's attack and defense. The yellow one is, I believe it's called Zodial, which I think it increases your... It's either your accuracy or your evade. I can't remember which. And then the white one is Retia, which increases your... It's like your tech, so you do more damage with techs. It's tech defense as well, okay. Okay, so yeah, so the yellow one is accuracy and evade, and the white one is, I think, tech attack and tech defense. Yeah, they were only in PSU as far as I know. I think after that they went back to just shifter and D-band again. What console I'm playing and what class am I? So I'm playing on PC. That is by far the easiest way of doing private servers. I don't actually know if there is any way of playing it any other way. So yeah, PC. And I'm currently playing 4-tier fighter, which is... They primarily use a lot of like the big melee weapons, so things like swords, partisans, axes, things like that. But they can use some other stuff as well. Yeah, that was pretty fun. The side-scrolling thing is very weird. It's kind of strange that it disables your nano blasts and your SUV weapons. Can I play it? I'm in your Discord. Is there directions on how to get this? So basically just look up the name of the server. So the server is called Clementine. If you look up Clementine PSU, there should be a site and a wiki and everything that shows you how to get it. I know you don't have to pay for it now. It's all free. It's just supported by... It's basically a fan server. It's obviously the official servers went down decades ago. Right, I guess we can go again. I'm gonna keep the side scrolling on. I don't mind it. There is that Crimson Blitz as well. That's like a challenge one. I think we'll do one more run of this Raging Waves first, and then we can maybe try Crimson Blitz and see what it's like. Yeah, the good thing about a lot of the Phantasy Star games, the ones that have been, offline for ages, is generally they have really, really good community support. Most of the games that are online capable have been supported by the community since. PSO has had private servers for as long as I can remember. PSU's had this for quite a long time. A lot of the games are playable still. But it is no thanks to Sega, it is all fan servers. Oh, Crimson is for 2 or 4 players only. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I should stress as well, you're not normally one of the Sonic characters. It's just a little like Easter egg thing they're doing at the minute. You wanted to play some PS Vita games online, but the servers are gone. Yeah, that reminds me I still need to play Phantasy Star Nova. We should redo that at some point. I think my plan is, I think once I finish Chrono Trigger on the Wednesday streams, I think I might do the Phantasy Star 2 text adventures next. Because they're super weird and niche, and I really want to try them out. So I might do those next. Where is this guy going? Hey, Miss, good to see you. Is there a Steam Deck installation guide like Affinia? I don't know if I've seen one for Clementine. I'm not saying there isn't, but I haven't seen one personally. Use Lutris. There you go. Apparently use Lutris. Yeah, it's a sad fact with online games, isn't it, that eventually the servers go down and they're just left, really. Oh, I've got deep parts, nice. Oh my god, that nearly instant killed me, I didn't even realise. Yeah, I guess Phantasy Star in that regard is quite lucky in that it does have very, very dedicated fan communities that just keep the games online. It would be nice if there was more official support, but okay, so I guess at least one person has given up on the side scrolling. Yeah, I will just say on the subject of the Wednesday stream, I'm hoping to do Chrono Trigger this week. It will depend a lot on how the weather is over here because I mentioned earlier that it's like the start of a heat wave and it's meant to peak on about Wednesday or Thursday to like unreasonably hot temperatures, and I really don't want to be streaming if it's way too hot. So I'll see how it's going to be. It may be we cancel the Wednesday stream, but I'll let you know if I do. You know, if the UK had such a thing as air conditioning, it wouldn't be too bad. Picked up my 3DS to play PS0 after I saw your stream a few weeks ago. Good luck during the heatwave. Thank you for the support. Yeah, PS0 was really fun. I mean, even that, you can still play online as well, so... How do you get Zero Online from an emulator? So you can do it through emulation. You can do it on original hardware as well. It's generally recommended to emulate because there's some security concerns with doing it through the original hardware. It's just because like the network architecture for the original hardware is not particularly secure now. So yeah, if you are going to go online, I'd probably recommend doing it emulation, personally. Do I still play PSO BB? Just hopping on for Dreamcast nostalgia and can't decide if I'm going Humor or HuCast. I do still play PSO BB. I was playing it a bit early today, actually. I played it. Was it last week? Yeah, I think last Sunday I played it on stream. And I'll probably be playing it next Sunday on stream as well. So it'll be Rare Drop Week on a Finia. I do still play it a lot. It's been a bit less recently just because we're kind of in between events for a Finia at the minute. So once the anniversary event starts, it will be PSO most weekends. That'll be about August time. But yeah, I still play it quite a lot. My time is a little bit limited with it because, you know, outside of this, you know, I do have like a full-time job and everything as well, so that eats into the time I've got to play. Yeah, as for whether I go Humor or HuCast, it kind of depends what you want. Obviously, HuCast is an absolute powerhouse. You know, if you want all the numbers, then HuCast. The day again, Mr. Skylight, how's PSU going? This game rules. It does rule. I'm so glad people think that now. And yeah, doing well. I was just saying, I'm suffering a bit because we are starting a heat wave in the UK, and it is not pleasant. Yeah, PSU is fun. This is the new summer event on Clementine with this like weird side-scrolling aspect. Only just realised now that we've had a few more people join. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm so happy it's winter here. I wish for winter. I was born in winter and I associate more with it. I would rather it be cold every day than be hot, personally. You used to play this game for dozens of hours when you're in middle school. That makes me feel very old, by the way. I spent a lot of time in the casino, which probably wasn't good for my young brain. Yeah, Phantasy Star teaching gambling habits early. I got some Rocket Punchers U+. It's been hot as hell over here on the east coast of the US. Yeah, I've seen that, obviously, because of all the World Cup footage that's on at the minute. I've seen that it's been horrendously hot in the US for a while. I'm so sorry. At least you guys have aircon for the most part. How old are you? I am 40. Yeah, I am old as hell. Yeah, thanks for that, Paker. Yeah, I predate Phantasy Star, which is terrifying. Only just, but I do. I don't look a day over 30. Thank you very much. You can stay. Not that old, I'm right behind you, buddy. Thank you for that. That explains why you played so much Phantasy Star. Yeah, so I started with GameCube PSO. So I actually started kind of relatively late, really. But I think I was about... I want to say I was about 18 when I started Phantasy Star. Because I think... I'm pretty sure I was in university when I started playing. I think. It was either university or my last year of college, one of the two. The secret is not to get much sunlight. I mean, I live in the UK, that's easy. Yeah, so we've got a party, so I guess we can keep running this for now. I'll do one more side scroller and then I might switch it over to the normal view. I think I was about 7 when I started playing PSO. Checks out, I was 13 on the Xbox, do miss the voice chat though. Never got to try, like I said, I started on GameCube and the GameCube version didn't have voice chat. I mean, I can imagine it was probably good if you were like on with your friends and chatting. I'd imagine there was probably a lot of horrific stuff on there as well. Is the fog in the UK because of pollution, or is it just like that way? Depends where you are. So my part of the country was kind of historically very industrial. And there's still a reasonable amount of factories and stuff around here, so there is probably some pollution here for sure. But it is also just a very foggy place at times, so... Just an update, I have the virus armor Lafeteria for my Skyly Hunewalt. Nice. Yeah, definitely one of the best armors in the game for a Hunewalt for sure. I'm pretty sure it's the highest defense armor they can use, so... There was a lot of drama, there was the 187 gang, it was fun regardless, I appreciate the streams. Thank you very much for that. What made you decide to start videos and streaming? So on the video side, because when I started I just did videos for, I can't remember how long it was, maybe 6 months to a year or so. I just did videos. The main reason for that was just because I wanted to... It's kind of weird, so I started doing videos more or less for PSO2 NGS mainly. Just because I wanted to do content for the game. But then I realized that a lot of people were kind of showing interest in some of the early games as well. So I decided I'll start doing some content for that as well, because obviously I'm experienced with it. I've played it a lot, so I kind of know what I'm doing. So I started doing videos for it. They took off a lot better than the PSO2 NGS videos. So I just stuck with those. So I've kind of covered the whole franchise since. For the streaming, it was actually one of the guys in the party, so a Draken who I'm playing with at the minute, he actually suggested it. I'd kind of considered streaming for a bit, but I was at a point where I wasn't really sure that if I started streaming, I wasn't really sure if anyone would actually want to watch, because, you know, who wants to watch an ancient British dude play a 20-year-old game? But I tried it out and people watched, so just stuck with it. I've said it for a while now. I'm now at a point where I do prefer the streaming side to the videos, which is partially why the videos have kind of slowed down a bit. But my view is the videos will always be there on the channel, so... And it's not like I'm going to stop doing them, it's just I'm not doing as many. A lot of big guys are old dudes playing old games. It was quite funny. I was out at a family gathering last night, and there was someone in the family who, I can't remember how we got onto the topic, but they started talking about streaming. Which is like, first of all, how does that even come up at a family gathering? And they must have found out that I streamed, and they're like, "Oh, so are you like Queso then?" I'm like, no. First of all, completely different. Second of all, I'm not, loaded with money. There's only so much content one can squeeze out of a 26-year-old game. It's not getting version updated. Exactly. I've covered so much on PSO, there is really not a whole lot to cover for it now. Obviously, there's other games I can cover. It's just that for me, I'm much more familiar with PSO than anything else. I mean, yeah, I could do guides for PSU, I could do guides for things like PSP2, stuff like that. But it's whether they're worth doing. And for the newer games like PSO2 and NGS, I'm honestly not the best person to do guides for them because I'm just not as familiar with some of the mechanics. How do I find the time to make content? So generally, I mean, the streams are fine. I just set the time aside, once during the week, once on a weekend. That's not a problem. The videos, I mean, I used to do videos well, at one point I was doing 2 videos a week, which was insane. Like, don't do that. Generally, I'll kind of think of a topic to do for the next video and then spend like sort of a couple of weeks on and off getting information together for it. And I'll normally just record everything in one go on a weekend. It's kind of the only time I get a chance to. With me working full time, it's really hard to devote time like after work. So I'm not really tired after work anyway, so. The good thing is, I suppose, I'm in a position now where I've got so many videos on the channel now that I don't really feel a need to do as many videos as I used to because there is already a lot of information on there. What's up with the NGS AI? Yeah, have you seen the video that I did on it? And for what it's worth, Sega did do a survey just recently about that, asking kind of what you thought of it, and I told them exactly what I thought of it. But yeah, personally, I just find it a lot easier to do content for the older games for the most part. There are certain things with the new games I can do content for. When there's story updates or anything like that. Or things like the creative space, I know what I'm doing with that. But for in-depth guides, like gameplay, classes, I mean, I did do class guides, but a lot of them are outdated already. So it almost feels pointless doing things like class guides for NGS because all the Sega needs to do is do a rebalance and then your video is outdated. So how do you become Tails? So it's random. So what you do, Stumpwitch, is just type in "Happy Birthday Sonic" with an exclamation mark, and it'll randomly turn you into either Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. It's to do with the Sonic birthday event. Can I just say these drops have been absolutely terrible? Like, offensively bad. Have you thought about doing challenge runs for all the games, like playing with a handicap of some sort, or a hardcore run? The only thing I've done close to that is I think it was like for the first 2 years that I streamed. I think it was for 2 years. For like the anniversary of the channel, I did challenge runs for PSO in terms of it had a wheel that would spin whenever someone donated, because it was like a charity stream. And every time someone donated, I would do a spin on the wheel and it would add like a specific challenge to the next run, which made some really cursed runs. So it'll be things like, you know, do the next run with a force, but only use melee. Actually, hold on. I'm going to just reset the view. I want to do this with the normal camera view now. There we go. Yeah, so there was one, where I could only talk using the word select commands. So I'm just going to adjust my camera a bit because it's... That's better. Seems weird being in this view now. Yeah, so there's one where I could only use the word select commands, which is quite funny. Yeah, I do need to do another charity stream at some point, because it's been a while since I've done one. Speaking of charity streams, though, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but there is another Phantasy Star creator called Pizza Made, which I have collaborated with before. They're a Phantasy Star VTuber. They are doing a charity stream next weekend. It is, I believe, 2 12-hour streams, and they're raising money for I believe it's for a suicide awareness charity. So they're going to be basically playing PSO Blue Burst and trying to level a character from level 1 as high as they can in 2 12-hour streams. So yeah, I would encourage you to at least check them out. Consider donating if you can, possibly. Yeah, that is, I think it's next Saturday, next Sunday. Yeah, that challenge was really funny. Can you post their name in chat? Yeah, no worries. Give me a second. So, I don't know if it'll be on YouTube. It might only be on Twitch, but their channel is that Pizza Made. Kudao Kami U+. No idea what that is, but okay. Yeah, definitely check them out as well if you haven't seen them before. They are an absolute treasure to the Phantasy Star community. And they, like me, play pretty much the entire franchise as well, so... I'll try and give them a shout out on Twitch in a minute as well. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm sure I did set it up. Is it that? Is that the command? It is. There we go. Almost like I'm a professional streamer. I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot easier with the normal camera view. Yeah, also, if you like the classic Phantasy Star JRPGs, like the Mega Drive ones, or Master System and Mega Drive, they are also currently playing through Phantasy Star 2. Similarly, if you do like those, I have also played through 1, 2, 3, and 4 on my channel as well. So feel free to go and check the VODs for those. Tales with a Gun goes hard. It is funny how nothing really scales properly, so the sword is like half in the floor because he's so short. It's like you're playing Shadow the Hedgehog. Funnily enough, I don't think you can turn into Shadow. I think it's only Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but I could be wrong. But yeah, really, if anyone's using a gun, it should be Shadow, I guess. Speaking of which, one of the NGS Sonic limited time quests is a Shadow theme one at the minute, which is cool. It's the same one as last year, more or less, but it's fun. Need to play Phantasy Star 2 and 4. Watch a video analysis on the story before playing the game, sadly, so I know what happens, but still want to play it all the way through. It's kind of a shame you saw what happens, because, yeah, it's a particularly for 4 is a very, very good story. I mean, 2 is good as well, but yeah, 4 is incredible. It's a shame you saw what happens. It's a lot more impactful when you don't know. I think that's one reason it's been so hard for me playing Chrono Trigger, because I know Chrono Trigger is beloved by pretty much everyone. I am obviously directly comparing it to things like Phantasy Star 4. It's like a comparison. And it's really hard for me to sort of figure out where it sits in relation to Phantasy Star 4 to me. I'm really, really enjoying Chrono Trigger. God, they're so strong. Okay, so there is one downside of not using the side-scrolling. There is an invisible wall here, which I guess is where the camera would be. I think I gotta get Clementine again. Downloaded it a few years back using your video, but after playing it for a bit, I felt like I wanted to play PSO more. Watching you play it right now has made me want to get in there again. Yeah, I mean, my only real criticism of Clementine, and I say this often, is it doesn't really feel like classic Sega PSU. It's obviously been tweaked with a lot, but it's still really fun. I was hyper focused on PSO all last year, so I wanted to know what was missing in the old games. Sure, there's things that the video missed that I'll enjoy. Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, the original quadrilogy of games are all really good. 3 is definitely the weak point for sure, but I would honestly say if you're playing through them for the first time, still definitely play 3. 3 had some really cool ideas, and it's still interesting. It's just that there's some elements of it that really haven't held up well. But it's still fine. How am I handling this heat? It's just about manageable at the minute. I have a fan on in here. I don't know if you can hear it, but I have a fan on, which is helping somewhat. It's meant to get a lot worse, though. I think it's midweek. It's meant to get to about 30-something degrees, which... no. Can we get anything good from these boxes? No is the answer to that. Yeah, these drops are terrible. I remember being thrown off by how fast I was leveling when I did the first mission. Yeah. So the leveling is definitely a lot different to Sega PSU. Sega PSU was pretty slow. You got Lafferty and a U+. Nice one. Yeah, I got some drops in the mission, but I'm in the end boxes. The end boxes have been terrible. There's not many RPGs that progress like Phantasy Star 3 is my understanding. Yeah, so without spoiling too much, basically Phantasy Star 3 operates on like a generation system. So you play through so much with one character, and then depending on a decision you make at the end of that part of the game, then influences who you play as in the next part, and then the same again for the third part. Which is really cool for a game from like 1990. But there are some big issues with 3 for sure. Don't worry about us hearing the fan. We all have one on. I mean, the mic should hopefully cut most of the fan noise out. But yeah, it is very, very warm. Maybe one of the 3DS Fire Emblem games or something like that. Possibly. I'm not saying it's a unique game for doing that, but I think for the time it was... I don't know if there would have been anything similar. Maybe. It also was like the first game in the series to have some kind of like tech customization. It was very, very basic, but you could essentially customize your text to an extent, so you could do things like make your rest to heal by more, but by doing that it might make your revival technique work less often or something like that. Oh yeah, I forgot that I had a guitar weapon. Not that you can see most of it when I'm Tails. Yeah, I would also say the dialogue is a bit rough in 3. But if you look at the history of 3, you kind of know why it's so different. You know, it was developed by mostly different teams, so it almost stands to reason that it'll be a very different feeling game. Oh yeah, for sure. I think RPGs were definitely not like a strong point of the Mega Drive, for sure. I think it was very much more of like a SNES thing. But I think that almost makes the RPGs on Mega Drive more special because there wasn't that many of them. This game feels faster and more fluid than PSO. Enemies don't take ages to spawn in. Yeah, it is definitely a lot faster than PSO for sure. What I will say is the enemy speed in this depends on the level, which is kind of similar to like the difficulties in PSO. But we're fighting like what, level 200? Yeah, level 200 enemies, so they naturally move very quickly. I mean, it's a very, very different feeling game to PSO. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are going to be unbearable. I don't handle hot weather at best of times. Neither do I, and I'm going to be stuck in work on those days. And I work in an office, yeah, where you have to, I have to wear like, shirt and trousers, and I'm not looking forward to that. It sounds like hell. And our office is not air conditioned. It is not going to be a fun week. Yeah, I think it could be cool though. I think once we do finish Chrono Trigger on the Wednesday streams, I think it could be cool to do the Text Adventures of Phantasy Star 2. This is not PSO2, no, this is Phantasy Star Universe. So this was essentially the game before PSO2, kind of. There were some other like side games in between, but it's like the previous mainline entry before PSO2. So this was from about 2006. But I will say, PSO2 did kind of use a lot of the ideas that were thought up of in this game. Universe was the PSO2 before PSO2. It was. Make sure you cast Rabata inside the office to stay cool. Yeah, man, I know it's a bit of a meme about the UK generally not having air conditioning, but it is totally true. Most houses over here do not have air conditioning. A lot of businesses do not have air conditioning. So whenever there is a heat wave like this, it is horrendous. And it's getting worse as well, so... Pre-SO2, if you will. Well done. Yeah, basically, it's the kind of heat where all your clothes will just start sticking to you. It's disgusting. It's horrible. Yeah, I am not a fan of summer, generally. Well, to be fair, I'm British, so I have the right to complain about everything, so I'll complain when it's too hot in summer, I'll complain when it's too cold in winter. Do you buy those little portable AC units that have the hoses or window units? You can get them. They're honestly not that widespread here, though. We used to have one, so in the office I used to work in my previous job, they did have one. And then I moved to this new place and then discovered to my horror that they don't have one. What is your favourite online Phantasy Star game? I think of the online games, probably PSO GameCube. It's like episode 1 and 2. I love Blueburst as well, for sure. And Blueburst is obviously by far the best one to play now because it's got easily the biggest player count. Just for me, yeah, GameCube's where I started, so I have a lot of nostalgia for it. And I feel personally that the game is a bit better balanced than Blueburst. Blueburst introduced a lot of stuff in episode 4 that was ridiculously OP. You know, stuff like Excalibur and everything is just a bit too broken. But I still really, really like Blueburst. Houses in the UK are designed to keep the heat in when it's cold, exactly. Yes, our houses, they're generally brick houses, and they're designed to keep heat in, which is great during the winter, but not now. You love PSO GameCube, nice. Yeah, I'll always have good memories of GameCube. I met a lot of really good people on there, so... Same with Blueburst as well. I mean, a lot of the people that I played with on Blueburst, I still keep in touch with now. In fact, one of them I actually still play NGS with. Is there a hidden modding community for PSO? To an extent. So I know for Blueburst, there are people who do like map reskins and things like that. PSU, I'm not sure. PSO2 has a massive modding scene, but is against terms of service from Sega. So you're technically not meant to do it. But there is a very big mod scene for PSO2 for sure. Yeah, original PSO, it's mainly things like retextures of the areas and things like that. PSO2 has a modding scene. That's crazy for an online-only game. It does. Yeah, a lot of it is like outfit changes. You can probably, given what PSO2 is like, you can probably take a guess at what a lot of the mods are, without elaborating too much more on that. Yeah, a lot of the stuff is kind of client side only, so because obviously all the data is server side, it's generally a lot of stuff that like changes files on your end, so other players won't see any difference. But yeah, a lot of it is like using outfits from older games, but there is a lot of let's say less savory stuff. It's very hard to avoid if you look at any PSO2 Twitter accounts. Yeah, PSO2 players be wild. I'd love to see custom maps and weapons and bosses in PSO. I mean, I guess on Clementine, for example, I mean, Clementine is partially modded. Wait, is this broken? How did that guy get there? Yeah, I guess Clementine kind of does that. I mean, it's the actual devs of Clementine that do it, but they have ported things from other games. You know, there are a lot of maps that are from things like PSP2 Infinity. Yeah, the PSO mod scene is pretty small. You find that a lot of the mods and things for PSO as well are just functional things, so things like item trackers and things like that. But there is definitely ones that will do things like changing the look of some of the areas. There's a lot of UI mods as well for PSO Blueburst that just change how the UI looks. Inappropriate mods are always the first mod a game gets. You don't even need the hub when you look at the Skyrim Nexus mods page. I think it's the case with like any game like this that has either character customization or online components. There's always going to be that subsect of people who will horny mod it immediately. Custom PSO baby missions and weapons would be awesome. I mean, I guess they kind of do that on Affinia with the, particularly for the quests. There are new quests that get added to Affinia every so often. They actually just added a couple of new ones. Was it last week or the week before? Hey Sky, long-time fan of PSO GameCube, so I love your content. Been learning tons on Blueburst thanks to your videos. Oh, thanks for that, Fire Rock. Good to see another fellow GameCube player as well. Yeah, Pika, there was a couple of new quests. I can't remember what they're called offhand. They made a post about it on the forum. PSO2 barely even needs horny mods. That game is Guna Central. You are not wrong. Hi Nichiro, good to see you. Yeah, it's going pretty well. The achievement pictures of PSO2 on Steam still get me. Half the images are just a woman's breasts or stomach or thighs. Yep. Yeah, basically all they did, it's really funny. I know exactly what you mean. They basically just took like the stock images of the different classes of PSO2 and then just divided it up for the different achievements. So you'll get one achievement that might be, say, the PSO2 Hunuel's face, and the next achievement is just her chest. It's almost like Sega knew what they were doing. It's a really good skin. How'd you put it in there? It is a Easter egg you can do at the minute on Clementine. So if you, in the lobby, if you type Happy Birthday Sonic with an exclamation mark, it will randomly turn you into either Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. So for me, it did Tails. You can do it until about some point in July, I think. Greetings from Spain. Thanks to you, I've started playing Affinia and Clementine again. I'm getting hooked like never before. We got another one. Welcome back. So yeah, my camera is definitely moving and it's really annoying me. Yeah, it's only for the next couple of weeks, I think. Just because it's near Sonic the Hedgehog's birthday. As if Sonic is 35 years old. How does that even happen? This one PSU completely flew me by. I might give it a chance. Where would you recommend me to start looking and stuff? So this server is, to my knowledge, the only private server for PSU. The server is called Clementine. So just search that and just look for Clementine PSU, and that should give you the the site and everything to install it. It's pretty well maintained as well. Its population is not as big as something like Affinia for PSO, but it's got enough people to be able to play. I mean, at the moment there are 88 people online at the minute. Then I'm going to start doing hardcore runs of PSO and PSU. I think it'll be fun. So, on Affinia, they used to have a hardcore mode on Affinia. I don't know if you're aware, but they used to actually have like an official hardcore mode on the server. And it would play like a banner message across the top of the screen whenever someone died. But they got rid of it. Obviously, you can still self-implement a hardcore mode, by just deleting your character if you die, but yeah, they used to actually have an official hardcore mode. I couldn't do that in PSO because Episode 2 Ultimate exists. Considering Sonic was 15 back in his first game, Sonic is probably closer to 50. Yeah, it's like 35th anniversary of the game, but yeah, that's actually really funny, isn't it? Yeah, the character is probably like 50. Yeah, you could get scape dolls on the hardcore mode, but from what I understand, I don't know if you started with any, but I know the drops for scape dolls were a lot harder to get in hardcore mode. Like, they made them a lot more difficult to find. Yeah, I never did hardcore because I personally just don't feel like PSO is the game for it. Just, again, because things like Episode 2 Ultimate exists, and there's so much instant kill in that episode. Just started playing PSO. I've had people come and drop off special weapons that crash my game when I tech it. That's very weird. Is it on Affinia, the cake? Or... I've never heard of that, of the game crashing when you try Tekken. That's very strange. Have you tried, I know it's like a simple thing, but have you tried something like reinstalling Affinia? Because that seems very weird that your game is crashing when you're Tekken something. It really shouldn't be doing that. Even if someone's gifted you something, like, there should be nothing that crashes your game. And if it is something crashing your game, an item from someone, I would consider letting the GMs know or something. Yeah, I wonder if there's like some missing files or something, because that's very odd that the game's crashing when you're Tekken specifically. Because to my knowledge, I don't think there's a way of like having a weapon that'll crash someone. Not in Affinia anywhere. Not that I've heard of. It sounds like it could be an issue with the installation or something, or... I mean, obviously PSO is a really old game as well, so sometimes it just doesn't play nice on certain builds as well. I think they are purposefully trolling. I've had 2 people try and do it to me. If they have done that, I would definitely get in touch with one of the admins on the server. Yeah, Young, so yeah, someone on YouTube saying that apparently someone has gifted them some weapons on Affinia, and it's crashing the game when they're trying to attack them. To me, it sounds potentially more like an issue with installation or something, because I don't know of any way of being able to deliberately grief someone with weapons. If it was a console versions, then yeah, I could totally understand it, because those games are a mess for that kind of thing. They are spawning the items themselves. I wonder if would there be a sandbox player, maybe? Could it be the particles? I've heard there's a setting that if left on, the particles can crash your game. Yeah, so there is a sandbox mode for Affinia where you can spawn stuff in, but for that you're meant to stick specifically to sandbox. Like, you are not meant to be able to spawn stuff in games with other people or anything. So if they are using a sandbox character, which if they are, I think their name will be in a different colour. I can't remember what colour it is now, but I know the name of the character is in a different colour if they're a sandbox character. So if they are a sandbox character and they're spawning stuff in outside of sandbox, then they should not be doing that. And I would encourage you to probably report them to the admins if that's the case. I don't even know if it's doable, but it's weird to say it's happened a couple of times as well. Yeah, see, I always thought sandbox was separated, but I don't know. I'm sure sandbox is separate. So I think it's normal and classic characters can play together. Shout report. So there's no sort of official way. The best way is probably, if you use Discord, I would use probably the Affinia Discord, and just, you could even just ask on there and see if anyone else had the same problem, because it could potentially be a technical problem that someone else has had, and they might be able to help you fix it. And if it's not that, then someone will be able to let you know what to do about it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. You can also ask on the forums as well, potentially. Yeah, I'm sorry that's happened to you, whether it's a technical issue or someone actually griefing, I don't know, but yeah, sorry that's happening to you. Normally the Affinia community is really, really good. I wouldn't read into too much what Gemini says, honestly. I honestly don't know if it's possible to hack items into Affinia without playing sandbox. Yeah, I would probably go on the Affinia Discord or something and ask on there. It's just I've never heard of anyone doing it before, that's all, so that way as well, if it does turn out to be a technical issue, then they might be able to help us solve it as well. This PSO can be very, very funny with how it runs. Same with this game as well, to an extent. Yeah, the griefing, Young, there was a lot of griefing sort of back in the day on the official servers for sure. Again, though, that was only on the console versions. Because for those who don't know, the all the server data was held like server side for Blueburst in regards to things like item data and everything. Where on the console versions it was all, you know, character side, which is why it was so easy to like break those games. But yeah, generally on Affinia, the majority of people on there are really, really helpful, particularly for new players. A lot of people will like give stuff away to help new players get started and everything. Because end of the day, we just want more people playing on Affinia. Got a little bodge, only played episode 1. Is it your first time with PSO? Because I could totally get why on Blueburst if episode 1 would kind of turn you off a bit because of the whole government quest and everything. I would just say, like, feel free to try the other areas, the other episodes. Don't feel like you have to stay to episode 1 necessarily. Yeah, just try out different things. Oh, we have a weapon. I got a twin kitty claw U+. Amazing. Episode 4 is season 2. Oh yeah, for sure. Episode 2 is by far the hardest. When I say hardest, it's just cheap. Weapon drops are so rare in this game. Kind of scared to try new stuff already. So where are you up to, Baker Cake, in episode 1? I do want to see what those claws look like. Right, let's see. What do these look like? Twin kitty claws. Amazing. They actually meow as well when you attack with them. Incredible. I did get my mag to 200, a Sato with 45 dex and 150 attack. That's really nice. And yeah, I totally agree about the government quest in F1. I'm not a huge fan of them. I get that they wanted a way to sort of tell people the story, but some of the quests are really obnoxious. It's weird to me that the seller is out there at the end of the mission. Chose Hunewell as first class. Well done. Yeah, that is my favourite class. I don't know why Affinia doesn't make a solo version of the government quests, yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's how they were on the Sega servers, though. They were multiplayer only, for some reason. I guess it was trying to make people play together, but yeah, it was very annoying. Honestly though, I will say, people don't realize how good they've got on Affinia. Because on the Sega servers for Blue Burst as well, you had to be level 90 to do even episode 1 for Ultimate. It was like level 90 for episode 1, level 100 for episode 2, and 110 for episode 4. Every time Drac casts a spell, the bitrate dies. Yeah, that is the downside of, well, this game and things like NGS. It's doing its best. People are usually surprised I've never played before, but they recommended I check out your channel. Oh, well, thanks to whoever that was. Yeah, I do have a lot of videos for PSO. So if it is your first time with it, you know, hopefully it'll be useful to you. Yeah, it was really weird, Zil, wasn't it, that they changed the level requirements on the Sega server? I don't know why they did it. Yeah, if you think getting level to level 80 is bad now, you had to get to 90 before on the Sega servers. Level 90 and very hard. And bear in mind, you know, Sega server, which had no experience boost weeks or anything. Can you explain hit items really quick? Someone said they got a mod that auto finds hit items on the ground. So the mod they're talking about is probably the item reader mod. You can get that if you go on the Affinia forum. There's a section on there that has some of the mods and things on. I would really recommend the item reader. It basically, there's kind of two versions of it. So there's an item reader that shows up as a little box on your screen, and that will show you certain items that drop. Just so you don't have to individually go to every box on the map and see what it is. You can see at a glance at the item reader what has dropped. There's also the item tracker, which is one that will actually, where the boxes drop on the ground, it will actually highlight what those are on the box. So, for example, if a technique disc drops that you, say level 20 technique disc drops, it will highlight that on the actual drop on the ground so you can see exactly where it is. Really, really useful. Recommend those. In regards to hit weapons, so you've probably seen that all the weapons have different attributes. So the majority of weapons that you see will have either native or altered beast or machine or dark, and they might have a percentage next to them. So say you've got something with 20% native, that means that that weapon will do 20% more damage against native enemies, which is obviously really nice. Occasionally, you will get weapons that have hit. Not all weapons have it. I believe it's about a 5% chance in the later difficulties. If you get that, what hit does is it basically adds base accuracy to the weapon. So if you've got a weapon that has, for example, 20 hit, that will give you 20 more accuracy when you've got that weapon equipped. So hit weapons are very, very useful. You got them with 50% hit, so a 50% hit will add 50 more accuracy. It's like an additive bonus for hit. So if you had, say, 150 accuracy with your weapon before, with that weapon, then you would get an extra 50. Well, an extra 50 on top of what the weapon already gives you. So if the weapon by default gave you an extra 25 accuracy, and you got a 50 hit one, it would give you 75. So generally, weapons with hit, well, melee weapons and range weapons with hit are really, really worth getting normally. Tech weapons it doesn't matter for because hit doesn't affect techs. Techs will always hit providing you physically hit with it. You know, so if you cast fire, as long as your fireball hits the enemy, like physically, it will hit. Someone give me a Dragon Slayer with 35 hit. That's a really nice early game weapon, honestly. Yeah, so that Dragon Slayer, basically, So Dragon Slayer will have like a base accuracy that it gives you, because all weapons will give you a slight accuracy bonus when you equip them. But then that Dragon Slayer will give you an extra 35. So yeah, that is a really, really nice early game weapon for Hunuel. And it looks cool. Dragon Slayer's a really cool looking sword. Still gonna miss on Hunuel. I mean, you're not wrong. You know, Hunuel does have some eyesight problems. I still love her, even if she's blind. Yeah, the special's not great. I mean, yes, you're probably better with like a regular sword with like a charge special or something, but Dragon Slayer's fine. A lot of people will say like, oh, you know, a charge caliber or something more useful, but honestly, for normal hard and very hard, you're fine using anything more or less. It's only really when you get to ultimate that you need to sort of think about your gear a bit more. I think the aspect I miss from PSO going to the rest of the franchise is the design direction. PSO has this 90s Akira-esque like look to it. Every game since has been so high sci-fi, which is less interesting visually. Yeah, I agree with that. Is there a Heart of Dragon Slayer? I don't think there is. Unfortunately. Yeah, hope that helps. Gonna have dinner. No worries, Drac. Yeah, thanks to Runs as well. Thanks to Runs got a couple of year plus. Nice. Yeah, the drops don't seem too bad. There is... I think the end boxes seem a bit weak, but... I got one weapon from them at least. Dragon Slayer reminds me of Soul Edge from the Soul Calibur series. Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's even got the eye on the side of it as well. Also, thank you for the follow, Actual Stevie. I totally missed that. Checked out the other lobbies. Some of them are really cool. Too bad they're empty. Yeah, so the lobbies, they'll probably fill up more. So kind of US peak time, they'll pick up for sure. And during events, definitely. So they added Twin Blaze U+, Celestial Blaze U+, Lucifer U+, and Dark Bridge U+. Nice. Oh, Demi's joined us. Hello, Demi. I'm very glad about that, because going from like having buffs to not having buffs is a big difference in this. My name is Victorious. If you ever see me, I'll keep an eye out. One thing I would say, Big Cake, as well, is that generally, if you're looking for other people to play with on Affinia, probably stick to mainly the American ships, so normally Fodra, Block 1. That's where most people hang out usually. When we play, I tend to play on the European ship. Just because obviously I'm based in Europe, so the ping's a little bit better. But yeah, generally, if you're looking for people to play with, Fodra is usually the one to go to. Is there a way to use the extra 10 buttons on a controller? There might be a way to do it through Steam input, possibly. What it's worth, I don't use a controller for those. I kind of play hybrid, so I use a controller and use keyboard for those 10 buttons. Yeah, you can try messing out with things like Steam input and see if that helps. I will say that seems really hit or miss though. Some people it seems to work fine for, some people it just doesn't seem to work for at all. For me, I could only get Steam input working with certain things in the game for some reason. I've just realised that whenever Demi changes elements on the Lion Shield, they have like a cut-in chat that says these in barrier. Need to level my 160 characters so I can bring some variety to Ultimate. Yeah, at some point I need to level more characters in this game. I'm 194 with this character now, so... Try the type Sky, I should. I mean, to be fair, I've tried a few of the melee classes on this character. I probably need to level my cast next and do some of the range classes. I'll make a Newman and play attack. Play attack class. The only thing that concerns me about playing a tech class in this is knowing that I've got to level all the techniques up, and I hate that. Favorite planet in PSU? Probably New Days, I think. You know, I love Newmans. All the Newmans are New Days. But I just think it's a really pretty planet as well. Might level my human this event. He's like 140 acro attacker. Nice. I've noticed something very funny about using this tail skin. So with this PA, there's a part of the PA where I jump. And because I'm much smaller, the jump is smaller as well. You barely even notice it. Oh, we've got a forecast. They exist. Vice Shite U+. I mean, that sounds like offensive, personally. Is that really what it's called? It's probably Vice Height. We'll go with that, so it doesn't sound too offensive. I noticed that some of the people you play with have unique clothing. Oh, and a drill knuckle. Yeah, so... God, I only just got out of that. So in PSU in particular, PSU was kind of the first game where the fashion element kind of really kicked off. You know, PSO has it to a very, very basic degree, so you have different outfit swatches you can use. PSU was kind of the first game in the series to have actual outfit coordination. You basically have, like, generally you have like a top, bottoms, and shoes, and you can customize them all. And there are some outfits that are just like a complete outfit. But yeah, PSU was definitely the start of that. And it's now, I would say it's probably now a big focus of the series now, with things like PSO2 and NGS. I mean, God, I mean, for NGS, you literally have people making Twitter accounts, like fashion Twitter accounts. Which is to be expected when there are like hundreds of outfits in the game. Drago Puppet U+. I'm getting tons of drops here. What's going on? Only interested in PSO. So for PSO, for the outfits, the way you change them in PSO, in Blueburst at least, you need to be a member of a team. So if you can join someone's team, I mean, I always say, oh, someone in our party got a banner. Yeah, someone got 3 seals. Nice. That was the forecast, actually. Cool. Nice. Yeah, so for PSO, for the outfits, basically, what you need to do is join a team. And then once you join a team, what happens is when you're at the character select screen, you'll normally only have, like, I think it's confirm, cancel, or recreate. But if you're in a team, you'll also get an option for dressing room. You just choose dressing room and that lets you change outfit. If it's the earlier versions before Blueburst, then you need 10,000 Mazetta on your character. I wish Tamagotchis would become an international sensation again, so we can get another Chow Garden and classic mag system again. You never know. Yeah, the fashion in PSO it's very basic in comparison, as you'd expect. But you know, you can change your outfit color, you can change your hairstyle, you can change proportions. So yeah, Young. So I don't know what they're doing with the AI thing in NGS at the minute. So obviously, it's in the game at the minute, and it's at the moment it's a trial. They have just done a survey, which if you do play NGS, I would strongly encourage you to fill it out. There's actually 2 surveys. I think they expire in a couple of days. One is just about the general state of NGS, and one of them is for specifically for the Mag AI. And it asks things like, what do you want an AI to be able to do in the game, and what your opinions are of the AI, whether you think it's been useful or anything. So I would encourage you to fill it out if you haven't. I personally hope it doesn't come back, personally. But I mean, like I said in the video, I can see some use for an AI in NGS if it was sort of targeted at new players, and it would kind of give them a hand on what to do next. So when you first start the game, you might really not know what to do. And I guess like having an AI like mag companion that can say like, hey, what do I do next? Okay, maybe you should look into upgrading your gear. Maybe you should look into getting some levels in this quest. That I think is quite useful potentially. But what we got was hopeless. Why couldn't we have got a Phantasy Star AR game whenever Pokemon Go was huge? I logged into NGS the other day and got hit with 6 daily login screens, 110 scratch tickets, 10 different talking heads telling me about quests, and a weapon set which was 14 times the gear score of my old gear. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the gear is actually quite useful because if you come back from not playing for a while, it is a way of getting you into some like competent gear that will let you play the current content. I kind of like they do that for like the more, for more casual players, I guess. And the daily login thing, I think at the minute, I think it's really bad at the moment because obviously you always get a daily login notification anyway. That's always been the case. But at the moment, there's also the Sonic collaboration on at the minute, and you get an extra ticket from that. So that's another login pop-up. And then there's also another one from, I think it's from the Niji Sanji collaboration that they're doing. So you get one from that as well. So I think there's like 3 or 4. And then for the pop-ups, there's one about the Stellar Grace thing. And then I think there's one... I think you get one to tell you about the Maggie Eye when you first log in. Yeah, Pika, I feel the same. The thing about Niji Sanji is... obviously, I know there was a lot of drama around Niji Sanji a while back, but a lot of it was kind of confined to the Western branches, I guess. On the Japanese side, I don't think there's a whole lot of drama, so it's probably not thought of as negatively in Japan. And obviously, all the collabs are just whatever the Japanese team decides, so... Yeah, I get that, Young. I suppose, you know, if you don't want gear that just lets you do whatever and you want to actually develop your own gear, I can understand not wanting to use the freebies. I just think that they are useful for, particularly for people who play very casually. You know, if you come back to NGS after a long time, your gear is going to be so outdated that you're just not going to be able to do any of the new content. So having the new gear there available, I think is quite helpful for those kind of players. A lot of it, honestly, is just a problem of, you know, the kind of game it is. You're in this constant state of the gear getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair, yeah. I think ultimately it's just that PSO2 and NGS they are such a different experience to some of the early games. That if you prefer how games like PSO1 worked, it is a very, very big difference. Okay, so we're back to the bad box drops again. It's a problem of live service and or still wanting to be relevant, yeah. Yeah, it's just the nature of the kind of game it is, unfortunately. Oh, no worries, Demi, good to see you. Alright, let me just send some of this to my bank because I have far too much stuff. I don't know if it's on NGS, but for me, they should keep weapon and weapon progression like the old way, and fashion could be the gacha element. I mean, fashion is very much the gacha element in NGS, for sure. I mean, it was the same in PSO2. A lot of the outfits are through, like, gacha scratches. My camera is really annoying me today. It's normally fine, but for some reason, today it keeps moving. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the hinge on it's getting a bit loose or something. I mean, the way the camera is, there's a cable that goes into the back of it, like the USB cable. And it's a super tight fit. I really don't like how it connects. There's like a lot of weight on the cable with how it is. So it could be the cables pulling it back, but... it'll be fine for today. I'll have a look at it after stream. Yeah, I think a lot of people like me would love Phantasy Star to kind of go back to the more sort of PSO1 style, but it's not going to happen. You know, the formula kind of set by PSO2 is a very popular formula, and I don't see them really changing from that. Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's just, you know, modern gaming, unfortunately. Oh yeah, I mean, they make a lot of money from the scratch tickets for sure. But I suppose you have to weigh that up with, like, yes, they're earning a lot of money from the scratch tickets, but then the game itself is free to play, so it's one of those things, you know. I guess you either have a free to play game with microtransactions, or you have something like PSO where the game was paid and you paid a monthly subscription for it as well, but then no microtransactions, I guess. Or then you have something like Japanese PSU. Yeah, where Japanese PSU was a paid game with a subscription and microtransactions. Is FF14 like that? I have not played FF14 for ages, so I don't know. I know it was always a monthly subscription for 14. I genuinely don't know if 14 has microtransactions. I have not played it for years. Kind of. They have a level boost and you have to pay for quite a little bit of expansions, and as a subscription, yeah. Yeah, FF14 is a weird one. Like, I played it back in 1.0. I actually didn't mind it. I know 1.0 was like heavily memed on. A lot of people really hated it. I really didn't mind it that much. I didn't think it was fantastic or anything, but it was enjoyable enough. I tried it when Realm Reborn launched and just could not get into it at all, and just never really went back to it. But it's one of those games where, like, the story sounds really interesting, but I don't have like thousands of hours to commit to it. Hey Nemo, good to see you. How's the event going? It's pretty fun. You can't see it this run, but there's a gimmick with this quest where you can have it so the camera is like a side-scrolling camera. I did it for the first few runs. Also, you can turn yourself into Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles at the minute. Tried playing PSU when it first came out and couldn't get into it like I did with PSO. That was honestly a lot of people's opinion back then. I know it comes up like every time I play PSU, but yeah, PSU was not a popular game when it launched. I will say, I think it's aged really well. So yeah, it doesn't look like a modern game, of course it doesn't, but the combat and everything still holds up fine. So it's still a fun game. For first subscriptions, if it means that the cool looking customization is less likely to be locked behind a paywall, Yeah, I totally get that. And with PSO, it was never really too much of an issue because the subscription was pretty cheap anyway. The main issue with PSO was just having a console capable of doing it. Obviously, with Blueburst, it was fine. But yeah, for the console versions, it was just, you know, did you have the ability to be able to play your console online? These guys are really strong. They do so much damage. Yeah, I think when PSU launched, it was just such a big departure from PSO that a lot of people didn't vibe with it. And I guess when it launched as well, there wasn't a whole lot of content for PSU when it first launched. Feels like PSU blows NGS out the water when it comes to content. I think NGS has got better lately for content. There is more. Fantasy Burger U Plus. That sounds amazing. Is that a burger mag? It is. It's a shooting mag, so I can't use that on this character, but we have a burger. Call back to Phantasy Star 1. A TCSM made to celebrate the opening of a burger shop somewhere in Goral. It looks tasty, but it hurts to bite. Yeah, NGS has definitely got better for content lately. It has taken far too long, I will say that. I think the reason I like PSU so much is because it was my first. Overall, I think I might love Blueburst even more, but PSU was my first Phantasy Star game and I can't shake the love for it. That is totally understandable. That's, like I said earlier, that's why I love GameCube PSO so much, because that's where I started. Is it the best version of PSO? Probably not, but it's the one I started with. We would do the other quest, but the other quest is it's only a 4-player quest, and we seem to have like a really variable party count, so I'm fine doing this for now as well. It's a nice chill run this, and it makes it easy to talk to chat as well while I'm doing it. Right, let me get a Major Star Ride. I should really put this on the palette. Yeah, I think for me with PSU when it first launched, I had probably mixed opinions of it. I thought it was cool, you know, as a new Phantasy Star game. It was nice to see a new Phantasy Star game at the time. But obviously I loved PSO, and it kind of saddened me that some elements that I loved in PSO weren't in PSU. You know, there are some things about PSU I've just never liked. The main one was probably, I mean, I know the grinding system's awful, but honestly the worst one for me, the thing I really didn't vibe with PSU at the time, was probably the synthesizing system, where you had to find like a synthesis board and then make a weapon, and then watch it fail in front of you. Really didn't enjoy that. Heading off, getting tired. Thanks for the stream. No worries, Zill. Good to see you. Thanks for the runs as well. I think this quest, I think people can join it mid-run anywhere, so... Yeah, the weapon upgrade system was brutal. I mean, like I say, in PSU it was kind of a double-edged thing, so... Well, it was like double the problem, because you had to synthesize the weapon to begin with, which you could fail, and then even if you made it, then you could break it grinding, so... Yeah, it was not good. But, you know, I think all the games in the series have made some mistakes. And that was probably one of PSU's. Path of Exile also has a pretty brutal crafting system in that same regard. But yeah, PSU definitely got a frosty reception when it launched, for sure. I think lots of it was just because people love PSO so much and just wanted more, just wanted to play PSO more. But yeah, it's interesting because I do feel that the PSU does seem to have aged really well, and I think a lot of its faults can kind of be forgiven now for the most part. The only thing I disliked about PSU was the cheesy storyline. The online mode was top notch. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess Ethan was not a great protagonist is probably the best way to put it. I don't think anyone seriously likes Ethan, and I think if they say that, they're lying. I think RPG devs very rarely want to do one systems for the sequels, probably because it's not interesting for them. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's understandable that they want to kind of mix things up every game. Oh, Demi's back. Yeah, it's totally understandable that they want to mix things up each game because, you know, why bother making the game if you're just going to make it the same as the previous one? But unfortunately, a lot of the players just wanted more PSO. Exactly, yeah. So, you know, if your players love how the game previous is, then making a new game where you change everything generally isn't popular. Which I guess is kind of relevant with NGS at the minute. You know, again, a lot of people absolutely love PSO2 Classic. And, you know, some people don't like the direction NGS moved in and bounce off it because of that. Which is totally fine. I was a bit strange with that one because for me, PSO2, I enjoyed it to an extent, but it's never been one of my favourite games. Like, I enjoyed my time with it, but it's not a game I'd really want to go back to and play again. I only really play, you know, when I do the streams of it, I play PSO2 Classic then, but I really don't touch it apart from that. I don't know what it is about the game, it's just I just do just bounce off PSO2 Classic a little bit. Also believe episode 3 was ahead of its time. If it was instead of sort of a card game added into PSO, it would have gone so hard. Yeah, I think if PSO episode 3 was released now, I think... I mean, you saw what they did with Line Strike and NGS, you know, that is a card game that they added to NGS. So I kind of feel that if PSO 3 was a new game now, I think it probably would have been added as like an addition to an existing game. But yeah, I've always said this, I've always liked episode 3. I will always defend episode 3. It's not my favourite game of the franchise by any means, but I do enjoy it. Outside of the weird robotic voice. FF14's card game isn't just a card game, it's like the most popular FF minigame of all time, so it has a ton of nostalgia. So, for me who doesn't play FF14, is it Triple Triad? It's Triple Triad. Yeah, I love Triple Triad in Final Fantasy VIII, so I totally get why that is popular. Whether it's the same as the one in 8, I don't know. But I love that game in Final Fantasy VIII. Well, it was fun until you accidentally spread like the random rule all over the map accidentally because you didn't know what you were doing. And then you start losing all your cards to everyone because you can't win. You can't lose cards, you can't pick rules, and you can't choose the card you win. I also find it funny in Final Fantasy VIII though that you could be in the middle of like some horrific crisis in the game and you just go up to some random person and go, hey, wanna play cards? So I realise the world is exploding, but do you wanna play cards? Well, I got a Heroic Terry U+, which I think is a bow. And a Warrior's Wisdom, whatever that is. Did you enjoy 9's Tetramaster? I did not play much of Final Fantasy 9. I have a weird relationship with that game. I loved sort of 6, 7, and 8. For some reason, I don't know what it was, I just could not get into 9. Then I came back into it with 10 and loved 10, and then hated 10 too. Seeing Gold Miller got me. I'm sorry, Nimu. Hi, Vala, good to see you. Yeah, hope you're having a good evening. What I really want is a standalone Gold Saucer game where you can play all the popular minigames from all the Final Fantasies. Yeah, like the motorcycle minigame from 7, that was pretty good. Does anyone remember the Mog House minigame from 7, from the original 7? I feel like everyone only really remembers the snowboarding or the motorbike. Everyone forgets Mog House. Yeah, it was in the Golden Saucer, yeah. Eight is one of my favourite Final Fantasy games. Wow, that is not a common opinion. For what it's worth, 8 is one of my favourites as well. Yeah, Mug House was weird. I think the issue a lot of people had with 8 was the whole junctioning system was just very, very weird and made it so it was very, very easy to get ridiculously overpowered. Because really all you had to do was just get a lot of cures and junction them to your HP, nothing could kill you. Yeah, I barely remember much about the Mog House, Young. I don't remember the specifics of how it played exactly. I just remember it existing and traumatizing me. Yeah, I really liked 8. I mean, the story was very weird in 8 as well, to be fair, but I did enjoy it. And I think Selphie is probably one of my favourite Final Fantasy characters. Speaking of Final Fantasy, they're releasing the 10 HD remaster on Switch 2 as well, aren't they? Which I'm interested to see what they do, if they actually improve it from the existing HD remaster, or if it's just a port. FF7 Remake Trilogy is better than the original in my opinion. That is a brave decision. That is a brave opinion, that. I can't really comment too much on it because I've only played like maybe half of the first FF7 Remake. I think I was playing through it and then I want to say Monster Hunter Rise released and I sort of got distracted by that. So there's going to be new content, so potentially a remaster. I mean, I'm all for 10 getting released. I really don't like 10-2. I think I am confident to say that I think 10-2 is my least favourite Final Fantasy game. I really do not like that game. I just didn't really like what it did to the story of 10. It felt like it was retconning some of 10. How do you feel about 12 if you played it? I've only played a very small amount of 12, honestly. Not enough to really form an opinion on it. From what I've seen of it, it looks good, but yeah, I haven't really played enough of it to form an opinion on it. It is time for PS Universe, it is. It's another game where a big chunk of fans say it's the best in the series. Yeah, it always feels like the divisive ones are either... You either hate them or they're the best in the series. Because I know there's a lot of people who love 10-2 as well, but I don't know, for me, I never could get into it at all. I really did not like the writing or anything in it. The only thing I liked with 10-2 was I liked Riku's redesign. That was about it. I like 10-2, but I totally get why people hate it. Yeah, I imagine it's a game that does bring a lot of people into the series for sure. Played the heck out of 10 when I was a kid, but when 10-2 came out, my siblings were like, "It's a game about women, that's lame," so we never bought it. It was just the whole thing with... I can't remember if this was the name of the character, but... Wasn't there a character called... Was it something like... Was it Shujin or something like that? Who looked more identical to Tidus? It was very weird. Shujin, okay. Also, I think the first time I played 10-2, I think I soft-locked myself. I got to a part in the game where I seem to remember you had to like jump down some hole and then you had to fight some of the Dark Aeons. And I jumped down and then saved. And then I couldn't beat the first Dark Aeon fight and I don't think there was a way back. Kind of the canon for that is that Dream's Anakin is not a one-to-one copy of Real's Anakin, so Tidus looks like Shujin, but is nothing like him. Okay. And there was Len, the Yun looked like, okay. Yeah, it's not just one of those games where like I didn't like it when it first released. I did try and go back to it 2 years later. I think it was when the HD remaster released. I played through 10 again, and then I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try and do 10-2 because maybe I didn't give it a fair shot the first time round. But again, I dropped it after... I think I played it for maybe about 10 hours or so and just dropped it again. Ten for the first time was a nostalgia bomb. I love 10. I used to have some like really cool collector figures from 10 actually. I don't have them anymore now. I sold them a few years ago. I used to have like, it was a huge figure of, it was the Dark Yojimbo from 10. And I had the Bahamut one as well. Awesome figures, they were massive as well. You thought 9 was the black sheep of the family? Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I played a bit of 9. Maybe I should give that another shot at some point. Yeah, 8 I finished several times. Like, I love that game. I do like 7 as well. Yeah, I think 8 is probably my favorite overall. I would say 6, but it's been so long since I played through 6. I can't remember a lot about the game, so I probably need to redo it again. Yeah, the graphical style in 9, I wasn't a huge fan of. But again, though, it's been so long since I tried playing that, you know, it's one of those things where I should probably just try it again. Try the Pixel remaster of 6. Is it actually any good? It's kind of funny talking about this because, like, can you even imagine Phantasy Star getting like a Pixel remaster of like one of the classic games? The answer to that is no. Yeah, Sega, if you're listening, get on that. Third Nine's not bad, beat it once or twice. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have other ways of playing the classic Phantasy Stars. You know, I've got the Switch Sega Ages version of 1. And then I played through 2, 3, and 4 on the Mega Drive and Genesis Classics Collection, the one that you can't get now. But yeah, it would be cool to see it come back. I know you can still play 4 on the Switch Online. It is weird that 4 is on there and none of the others. There's a Master System are really hard to play. Only reason I'm looking at playing FF1 Nes Snoon is that I know it's not very long and easy to break the game. Yeah, I will say I've never played the original Final Fantasy, like a lot of the really early ones. A lot of that is just down to when I was younger, we didn't really have Nintendo consoles in the house. My first console was a Mega Drive. And the only Nintendo I had growing up really was a Game Boy and a Game Boy Pocket. Until GameCube. I played the first for like 3 minutes when I was a teenager and decided I couldn't do it. Sounds like my experience with the first Phantasy Star. Yeah, first tried it and I got killed by the first enemy in the game and just dropped it immediately. And then streamed it several years later, got killed by the first enemy in the game again. I'm nearly full on items again. Yeah, I will say I enjoyed. I did enjoy FF10 when that released. I think the only real criticism I've got of 10 is I feel it's too easy for the most part. With the exception of like the super hard boss fights on the international versions. A a lot of the game is very easy. Dragon Quest was the first RPG I ever played and basically just opened my older cousin's save file so that I could go back to starting areas and kill slams with endgame gear. Yeah, early RPGs are rough. They are not forgiving in the slightest. I like to enter the idea of playing it again as an adult, but I also know the controls are going to aggravate me. Yeah, I suppose one of the downsides of playing really old games, they do feel pretty janky sometimes. I mean, hell yeah, I mean, PSO probably feels jank to a lot of people. Well, I mean, it is jank, let's be real. Ever played Lufia, underrated SNES RPG? So, no, the reason for that is probably just because I didn't have a SNES. I will say that I have not even heard of that. I don't know if you know about the older Dragon Quest games, but you have to choose actions from a menu. Like opening the doors, going down the stairs. Oh, okay. So is that a bit more similar to, I think they're called, is it MUDs they're called, like really, really early RPGs? Like multi-user dungeons, I think they're called. Where you like enter commands to do what you want to do. Did they remove the counterfeiting activity? For some reason I'm unable to log in. Did it download an update? Because there is an update file to download. If you can't log in, what I'd probably try is close it completely. I was gonna say, I wonder if there's like a launcher update or something. Already updated and reopened. Is it giving you any kind of error message or something when you log in? Or when you try logging in? Just a regular error message to retry or go back to the main screen. I mean, I don't think they removed counterfeiting activity. I mean, to be clear, I haven't played PSU since last time we streamed this. I'm pretty sure you've probably played PSU after that. If it keeps doing it, maybe worth asking on their Discord and see if anyone else having the same problem or anything. Okay, so Dragon Quest was more like tile-based maps instead. Fair enough. I think I've seen some footage of the original Dragon Quest. It looked pretty interesting. I know it's kind of like, it's more or less like the genesis of JRPGs, really, isn't it? So I probably owe it to myself to play that at some point. Have you ever played an Ultimate game? No, I have not. What you'll come to find very quickly is that there is a massive gap in games I've played which is around the time of PSO. Basically, sort of from Phantasy Star Online onwards, there's probably huge gaps of games I have not played because of PSO. I know Ultima is really old, but yeah, I've never played an Ultima game. Yeah, Dragon Quest Sweet One, it's a franchise that I've just never really paid much attention to. And I don't know why. I have nothing against the franchise or anything, it's just a series I've just never got around to playing. Dragon Quest is very good. I mean, it kind of has to be, doesn't it, with how long it's been around. Dragon Quest is slow, its pacing is a lot slower than most RPG series. I've also not played Suikoden. I have a sheltered game existence, which basically consisted of Phantasy Star and not a whole lot else. What I'm trying to say is, if a game released after about 2003, I was probably SJS hunting. I'll tell you what, this is a really quick quest to do with a full party. I thought I might have got bored of it by now, but it's fine. It's a pretty quick quest, honestly, so it's not bad to run. I think that's the issue for me with Dragon Quest is I just wouldn't know where to start. There's so many games. Yeah, I know it's like the series that kind of more or less started off JRPGs, so I should probably check it out at some point. You can start anywhere, okay. Is it one of those series where like each entry is kind of its own story and you don't need to play the previous one? Like Final Fantasy and things like that. Mostly except 1, 2, 3, and 11 are related, okay. But you can still play them in any order. Oh, that makes it a bit easier. Yeah, I'm always looking for games to play on the Wednesday stream, so... Obviously, we're doing Chrono Trigger at the minute. Once that's done, I think I want to do the Phantasy Star 2 Text Adventures next, just because I'm curious to see what they're like. And then after that, maybe we can think of something else. Hi, Drew, good to see you. Haven't touched PSU in a few years. Forgot how much I love the sound effects of PSU. Yeah, it's very unique, isn't it? I think a lot of stuff about PSU, you know, the sound effects, kind of the graphical style and everything's just very unique. I haven't played the Phantasy Star Text Adventures, but I'm curious how quickly you'll lose interest. I just want to do it more so because I think, from what I understand, I think they're kind of like prequels to Phantasy Star 2. I could be wrong on that. I'm just curious to see what they're like. Yeah, I really like PSU, Drew. I was saying earlier, I think it's one of those games that it wasn't well received when it launched, but I think over the years it's held up remarkably well. Exactly, Peaky, yeah, you know, playing the text adventures, it's more time with Nair. It was far too short in Phantasy Star 2, so... That still amazed me when I played 2, the fact that they killed off like a major character so relatively early in the game. PSO and PSU have aged super well, but I'm very biased. I mean, I agree. The only thing I'd sort of say is I think PSO feels quite janky, it feels very old. But like visually, I think it kind of holds up because of the art style. And the sort of the grind loop and everything in PSO is really addictive. Gameplay, I think, does feel a bit jank, but I'm willing to forgive it that because it's such a cool game. They fixed that in Phantasy Star 4 with Rika, but then you get less time with Demi. Yeah, you're really not with Demi very long in Phantasy Star 4, really, are you? Just thinking back to it, I think, what, you save her from Zeo's fort. And then... I think, do you use her, is it just until after the second Zeo fight, I think? And then she goes out your party for more or less the rest of the game. And then you can use her again for the final boss dungeon if you want to. Gameplay-wise, it would be great if it was just faster and didn't have collision mechanics. I like a little jank in my games, adds a touch of skill being forced to compensate for the jank. Yeah, I get that. I mean, the jank does make PSO very funny sometimes, like some of the stuff you can do in that game. To sort of game the system. You know, such as, you know, running tower and just the sheer fact of just standing at the edge of the screen on tower, making most enemies not be able to hit you. Is very funny. Is this mission the entirety of the summer event? What other goodies are there? There is another quest, but it's only 2 or 4 player. It's like a challenge one. I think you just run through rooms until you run out of time, I think. That seems to be about it. There might be like a boost event, maybe. So quite often with the events, they'll do a thing where after the event, they'll enable extra rare drop boosts and everything. So that might be active, possibly. But this is the main quest for it, for sure. Oh yeah, it is very janky. Yeah, so if you run Phantasmal World 4 on PSO, on that first floor, I think there's 3 Gibbles on that floor, and you can get all of them stuck 100% of the time. I mean, it makes it a very easy floor. I mean, sometimes the jank works against you as well. You know, I think everyone at some point in PSO has had a Barons that shot through the doorway. Because that does happen sometimes. Usually the missiles do stop, but occasionally they will just keep going. So you do the whole PSO thing of running into the corridor to avoid everything, and the missiles just follow you and kill you. thank you for that. If only you could do that with the Geo Rock Bear and the new NGS Urgent Quest. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of stun lock it to an extent, can't you? There's that, like, trap on the floor that you can stun it with. But it does respawn quite slow, though, to be fair. I guess the kind of thing I find uninteresting with PSO is how easy it was with range combat. I think the main thing with the range combat in PSO, for me, is just how broken mech guns are. Like, particularly with hunters, there's, for single target DPS later on, like, sadly, there's not much reason to use anything else apart from mechs. I do because I want to, but if you're going for, like, you know, peak DPS, then, yeah, you just spam mech guns, unfortunately. In a party, if you go with melee weapons, you'd be lucky to get a single hit. Maximum DPS only, yeah. We're only real gamers for PSO. Definitely a strong meta in PSO, but I find it more fun to play the wrong way. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I use mech guns on a hunter because they're good, but you know, I also use like twin swords. You know, I like using the melee weapons because I'm playing a hunter. I want to use melee weapons as well. I mean, yeah, there are some melee weapons that are really good. You know, things like Excalibur and stuff are obviously really strong. But for how easy it is to get some 50-hit charge Vulcans, it's a bit disgusting how good they are. Yeah, twin swords are cool. I like them. I really, really wish that claws were better in PSO, because I love the look of some of the claw weapons, but they're just not that good. Most hype is landing a special with the flown sword. Yeah, that is a really good weapon, the 3084 flowns. Got to work on some stuff, so I've got to go back to like a good look on the runs. Oh, no worries. Thanks for dropping by, Drew, as well. Yeah, melee can work pretty well on some of the forces, particularly for 4 mile and 4 mile. I mean, to be fair, I have a 4 mile and I barely ever cast any like offensive text with it. I basically just run her as a Hunuel. She may as well be a Hunuel. Yeah, Nima, I would maybe ask on the Discord and see if there's any reason, because it might be something that someone else has had problems with as well. So I don't know why else you get an error message. I know there's been an update for the game, but if you've updated it and everything, then I don't know why it wouldn't let you on. What's the issue? So Nemu is getting an issue where they're trying to log in, they're getting an error message for some reason. I mean, I will say, PSU is a very, very finicky game for what it works on, but if it's worked on any system before, then I don't see why it wouldn't now. Yeah, I don't know if it has a code number or anything for the error. In my case, the game installed with 2 EXEs. I deleted the one I was using and started using the other one and it worked. Why would it have 2 EXEs? Yeah, hope you can get it sorted though, Nemu. Yeah, all I can suggest really is maybe asking on the Clementine Discord, because it could be there's been someone else with the same issue as you. I'd be surprised if it's something that's only affecting you. I will say, I think most people who play Clementine have probably had some issues with it at some point. It just does seem like a game that a lot of people just have issues with for seemingly no reason. I guess, you know, it's the issue we're trying to play what is essentially an ancient game now. In Sega we jank. Yeah, I mean, again, it is Sega, so it's probably spaghetti coded. I don't understand with this quest why you get to the end, you fight the Vol Brothers, and the Vol Brothers are like the easiest thing in the entire quest. It's very strange. I will say I am slightly getting sick of this music now. Alright, I think that's going to do it for the runs for today anyway. Say bye, Demi. That's what I'll do just before we wrap up. Great playing with you again. Have a great evening. Oh, thanks for that, Ren. Yeah, thanks for the parties as well. It makes it a lot easier when there's someone buffing. So do I stay as Tails when I go to my room, or does it respawn me as my character? Okay, well, back as character again. So, does this work in my room? Happy birthday, Sonic. No, I think it must have to be outside your room, that's fair. A lot of titles I can't claim because I've already got the items. Alright, do I have any, like, room items I can put in here? Does your t-shirt say D's? What does it say? This is the problem with trying to read PSU text. I mean, take your best guess. Oh yeah, I guess the rooms are like a separate server, aren't they? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I have no idea what that says. Would it be green, maybe? I know the PSU font can be really weird sometimes. Is it green? Green ease? Maybe? What that means, I have no idea. Right, since it's Sonic's birthday, let's put that out. Sonic, you're facing the wrong way. Yes, I know what you said about jank. Unfortunately, I don't think I have Knuckles or Tails. So is any of this actually interactable? No, I don't think it is in PSU. I'm pretty sure in PSO2 they made this interactable so you could actually like lift it. May I post a link? It's to the FAQ section for Clementine. You can try posting it. I might have to approve it. If it does time out temporarily, I'm sorry, but hopefully it'll be okay. What I'll maybe do is if you're putting the link in, maybe just put like a space in the link or something to break it up. Also, thanks for trying to help out with that, Blades, as well. Ah, yeah, it's blocking the link automatically, unfortunately. Is there any way I can enable that? No, you might have to like break the link up a bit or something to try and get it to post. I think like the auto mod is just automatically blocking the link. It would be helpful if it gave me an option to actually enable the link for that message, but no, it doesn't let me. And always Pika, good to see you. Yeah, we'll be wrapping up in a second anyway. Yeah, I do like how some of the stuff is interactable in this, but I feel like PSO2 kind of really expanded on that. Like, I know this you can interact with. You'll DM the link, no worries. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, hope you can get sorted, Nemo, anyway. I've noticed that you tend to play a female character. Do you identify more the female character, or is it you prefer the look of female characters? Probably the latter, honestly. I have had male characters. Actually, my very first PSO character was a male. Yeah, my very, very first PSO character was a Remar. It's a fun interactable, yeah. I mean, it's probably not very fun for the character, but... There's one over here as well, this is as well. This has like random chance, so sometimes it'll be different. So it inevitably won't do this now. Oh, there you go. Sometimes your hand gets stuck. But yeah, Young, I think for me, I generally just prefer the female characters overall. And the thing is, for me as well, I tend to use the same characters a lot in each game. So I tend to just carry over the characters that I've used in previous games. So because I used female characters back then, they've just carried through the games for me. Some games it's a bit different. So in NGS, for example, I genuinely just don't like a lot of the male fashion in NGS. So I've just got no real interest in playing a male character in that one. But yeah. I mean, this character is my original PSO GameCube Hunuel was named this character. So she goes back to like PSO GameCube. But yeah, I think we'll probably end things there for today, I think. So again, so far there is a stream on Wednesday, which will be Chrono Trigger. It will depend a lot on how bad this heatwave gets. If the heatwave is as bad as I expected, we may end up cancelling the Wednesday stream because it would be horrific. So I'll let you guys know nearer the time. If we do need to cancel it, we'll just schedule it for the next week instead. But yeah, I'll let you guys know probably on X and Bluesky and on the Discord as well. So feel free to follow us on there if you haven't already. Nice Crib Sky, I like the protein powder you got on your desk. I mean, obviously, she needs that for the gains. And the weight, obviously. Also, the protein powder, by the way, is a Burning Rangers protein powder. We've got a crowdfund Geo Window AC unit. Probably joining next Sunday. It's a good stream to have on while I deliver pizzas. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I think next Sunday's stream we're probably going to do PSO Blue Burst because it'll be Rare Drop Week, and we always play during Rare Drop Week. So yeah, we'll do Blue Burst on Sunday. Wednesday, like I said, we'll be Chrono Trigger, providing the weather's not too ridiculously roasting hot here. If it is too roasting hot, I will let you know and we'll cancel it. In regards to videos, I'm hoping to have a video go live probably in the next week or two. So keep an eye out for that as well. Again, just as a reminder before we end as well, again, next Saturday and Sunday, Pizza Made is doing that charity stream as well, that 2 12-hour charity streams. So please consider checking that out as well. Even if you just go to support the channel. But yeah, she's doing a charity stream to raise some money for a suicide awareness charity, which is a really, really good cause. So feel free to help out with that. She's also going to be playing PSO Blue Burst during it as well, so if you want to see some PSO Blue Burst gameplay, there'll be that as well. Yeah, whatever you're doing, have a great rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys possibly on Wednesday, we'll see, or Chrono Trigger. Thank you for the 13-star rare drop. We'll hope for some of those. But yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday for Chrono Trigger, providing the weather's okay. If not, then it'll be Sunday for PSO. Yeah, whatever you're doing, have a great week, and I'll see you guys then. See you guys. Thank you for the poison lily as well.